Let's go.
Creature Commandos.
Yeah.
Episodes we covered 1 through 3 prior to our holiday break. So we have episodes 4,
Mhm.
Chasing Squirrels, episode 5, The Iron Pot, and then episode 6, Priatel Skillet. So man, I'm enjoying this. Like,
Yeah.
it's good. Like, at the beginning, I'm like, "This ain't bad." You know,
Mhm.
as it's progressed and gotten on, I've loved it more and more and more. The development of these characters, what we get to learn more on the backstories of these characters. I like how we get flashbacks of each character per episode, so it gives us a little bit more of an in-depth connection, and we can, like, have a little bit more emotion and tie to these. And come to find out, like, most of these people aren't that bad. They were just
I know. Just
good or
in the
done
wrong
wrong. Oh, like the weasel one?
the weasel.
Oh
That
my
was so
god. That was
sad. It
so
was so
sad.
sad. Like, this
Ah,
guy did nothing wrong.
yes,
He
and,
was just there trying to play with some kids.
never did I expect me to feel an emotional attachment and sorry for Weasel, since we've seen him in live action, and it seems like he's kind of just, a numbskull that doesn't understand or get things. He seems like just a creature, and he's not like a cute creature even by no means, but, like, after seeing his backstory, it's like, man, James Gunn does good with this storytelling,
Mhm.
and, like, making you, feel something for these characters, and then, like, the bride, and oh my god, Alan Tudyk's character, Dr. Phosphorus, that's sad, and, like, I didn't expect him to be that good either, and that stuff happened to him.
Ah.
Whew, uh,
That was
I'm
so
lo
sad because, like, it's a lot of reminiscence to, Dr. Freeze or Mr. Freeze, right? Mr.
Mhm.
Freeze? Yeah.
Mr. Freeze, yeah,
Yeah, so it's a lot like him where, like, he was just trying to save his wife, and
yeah,
and that's all he wanted to do, and, like, it didn't work out, and now he's a villain. Like, that's the same thing with Dr. Phosphorus. Like, he just wanted to cure
yeah,
cancer, and he's like, "All right, well, this is, like, probably gonna be really bad if it gets out into the real world, so let me just fudge some numbers and, like, send out some reports."
yeah,
And then they're like, "We saw that you fudged the numbers. You didn't think we'd notice?
mm,
Go into your pot and
yep,
go and take this, like, irradiated blood type thing or nuclear waste or
and
whatever it
they thought
was."
it was gonna kill him.
Yeah, they thought it was, but no, it did not. And like that like creepy part where he was just like, everyone thinks I'm smiling, but I'm not. And I'm like, yo.
Yeah, and then the scene where he's, like, hiding out in that house, and he eats breakfast with or, like, cereal with that little girl, and then playing with
Mhm.
her in the ba I was just waiting for, like, there be, like, a twist, him to snap, and then,
Yeah,
like, he's throwing her up or whatever, and then asks him for direction, takes off to the castle. I was like, "Whew,"
yeah,
but then it also just
yeah.
made you feel that much more sad for him because of his kid and his wife
Because
being
yeah,
killed.
that's all he wanted to do was just play with this kid. Like he was like, "Man, I
Yes.
really wish that you didn't see me because I didn't want there to be any witnesses."
I
And
know,
then
it's
it
like,
like cuts
"Oh,
away, and I
yes,
was just like, "Oh,
yes!"
don't you fucking do
Yeah.
that."
I'm like, "We're gonna
And
come
then
back to
all
a
of a
scene and she's
sudden
gonna be dead."
and you hear her screaming, and then her
Yes.
parents, like, wake up and, like, run down, and then just see him, like, throwing her up in the air, like how, like,
Yes.
parents do with
Yes.
their kids. And he's just like, "Oh, okay, here you go." And she's just, like, giggling and just, like, running back to her parents. She's like, "I'm just so happy."
Oh my god,
And
and then also freaking Frankenstein monster. Oh
mm,
my god, like, David Harbour, man. I love David Harbour. Like, more I see him, the more I love him. But then, like, how they're storytelling, Frankenstein monster, and then, like, with the old lady that took care of him, and then at
yeah.
the end, she's like, "Don't leave me, I don't wanna be alone." He's like, "I'm not gonna let you be alone." And then boom, it twitches, and he just beats her head with a pot, so she don't have to be alone for the rest of her life, and takes her freaking dog.
She's
It's
like,
like,
"Why did you lock him outside? He doesn't need to be here for this."
oh
Like,
my god, like, I
Jesus Christ.
I will say this, and I can't believe I'm saying this. I've enjoyed this series more than What If, and, like, I'm diehard
Yes.
Marvel, but, like, James Gunn might be doing some things to me, like, uh, like, I'm loving this.
I mean, good storytelling is good storytelling,
It
and
is,
if
it is.
Creatures Commandos, yes, has been so much better storytelling and has me so much more involved and attached. And I'm waiting for the
Yeah.
next episode, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah. So
when
do
is the next one coming out?
think Cersei's telling the truth, and the Rick Flagon is like over his head and not understanding, this is the wrong thing taking up for this princess, and it's just him, lust blinding him? Or do you think Cersei's playing them?
I think Cersei's playing them because of that weird professor chick
Gotcha. I am curious because, like, you
that was Clayface, but wasn't like
yeah. Oh yeah, I did
that.
not expect to see Clayface die.
Yeah, for like we saw him for like all of 5 seconds, and he was gone, and I was like, oh god, no, okay.
Yeah, which was also voiced by Alan Tudyk.
Mhm.
uh,
Yeah.
but man, I'm loving this. I'm so ready for this. It's one more episode, right? Just one more and it's
I don't.
done.
I thought there was 8. I hope that there's 8, but I don't know anymore.
Okay. I hope there is two. I don't know. But yeah, I'm loving it. I'm here for it. Yeah, James
Your
Gunn is doing
McDonald's.
something
I'm
right.
loving it.
But yeah, next thing on the list, James Gunn and DC again. The Superman trailer. It dropped literally. I think it dropped literally right after our last episode. Uh,
Mhm.
man, or did we talk about it? I can't remember if we talked about it or not.
We talked about when we thought it was gonna come out, but it
That's
didn't
right. That's right.
drop yet.
I think it
Yeah.
dropped like a day after our last episode or a couple days after. But
Yeah.
man, the music, the visuals. It
Damn it, there's only 7 episodes in Creature Commandos. There's
oh,
only
there is
one
one more.
more. No.
Ah, but the Superman trailer, which was originally titled Superman Legacy, now it's just titled Superman. Um, so good. It has my attention. So I never expected, let alone a DC project, to just play with like literally no words. Hardly no words in this trailer, but make
Mhm.
me feel something emotionally. It just makes you feel super hopeful, and like it gives you that classic not happy, but classic hopeful superhero feel.
Yeah.
And slightly, I don't know. And then like how they take the old Superman music, John Williams Superman music, and they give it the twist with the electric guitar. I think I can't remember whose piece that's actually playing. It works, and like ah, I mean, we get to see official, fully edited Clark Kent version, which
Mhm.
I think works. I like his posture. You can tell he kind of does the Christopher Reeve thing. He completely changes his stance and his posture. We don't get to hear
Mhm.
him talk, so I'm super anxious to hear how he talks. Uh, but then like the visuals of his Superman, and then just him saving a kid, while these canisters explode.
Mhm.
The visuals for this thing, it looks good. We kind of talked shit on it, of like the snapshots while filming. But this goes to show you can't judge stuff but before post production and things are fully
Yeah.
finished. But I can't
I mean,
believe
we got to
this.
see Nathan Fillion's bowler haircut
Yeah, yeah.
in the trailer too,
Which is
and
comic
it
accurate. Oh, it's so
yeah,
ugly. It's so ugly.
yeah. But now kind of knowing ish that he's
Right.
supposed to be like a villain.
Right. Well, I think he's like in a kind of like in a like a slight antagonist or someone that if so I'm not super educated on his comic character, but from
Yeah.
what I've heard and learned is like he's just a hard person to deal with.
Mhm.
And yeah, and I think he's more from what I understand, like he's more of like kind of very sarcastic and more comic-y, and hard to deal
And I
with type
mean,
character.
if you
So
really dealt with anybody that's an adult with a bowler haircut, that's pretty much what you're dealing with.
yeah. And I think that would be a perfect character for Nathan Fillion because he's hilarious. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah, no, I love that man. Like protect that man. Like I
Yeah.
love him
Oh
so
yeah.
much. I
Even
have
just in the TV show Castle, I love him in Castle too.
I watched him in Firefly. There's
Mhm.
like I can't remember
He's in
what
Guardians
the
too.
yes. There is a movie with Neil Patrick Harris and him, and they sing in it, and I cannot remember what the name of this movie is.
Hmm.
It's
I'm not sure.
sing, and if Felicia Day is in it, I'm pretty sure.
Huh.
This sing about 4 sweater vests. I cannot remember anything else about this movie. But it's hilarious. Anyway, I'm gonna have to like look that up and get back to you on it. But
Nice,
yeah,
nice.
love that man. Love him.
But yeah, I'm super excited for this. This is probably for the first time ever in like one of my top 3 movies I'm looking forward to for 2025 is a DC project.
Well, I mean, I've always loved Superman.
Yeah, I
Um,
have too, and I like Henry Cavill Superman, but I like how like I loved Henry Cavill Superman, but like I
mhm.
like how this is giving more of a comic hopeful superhero nostalgia feel.
It's giving
And
me a lot of like,
instead of a dark brooding, everything's dark and I don't know. I feel like this is gonna be
yeah,
one of
no,
those things where
it's
like
more like Christopher Reeves, like
yeah,
Superman,
yeah,
like
yeah.
the original, in my mind, original Superman, because that's
Mhm.
the Superman I grew up with. So, like, seeing this and with this trailer, it literally made me feel like I was a kid again
Yeah.
watching it,
Well, and also
and
I
it was
heard
just a trailer.
David Cornsweet also fought to have the red trunks back on this character. Like
Good.
James Gunn actually, wasn't something like he just said this is how it's going to be. David Cornsweet, he's like, Superman needs to be inviting and needs to be approachable, from anybody, and it needs to be very obvious that he's a hero. And I do like how they have a very nostalgia, colorful look about this trailer in
Hmm.
this. It just gives you kind of like you said, Christopher Reeve, like just an OG heroes are heroes, villains are villains. We don't have, and maybe I'm wrong on this. We'll find out. But this, they there's so many in the past 20 years. They wanted to make you be able to relate and feel for the villains and maybe see the villain side and justify what they're doing. And I think this is going to be bad guys are bad guys, good guys are good guys. There might be a little twist here and there in it, but I'm here for it. I, I'm here for it. I love it. So,
Yeah. No, I'm going to theaters to watch this
oh yeah,
eventually.
definitely, definitely. And I got a feeling, long as I love it the first time, this will be the first DC project I see more than one time in the theaters as well. I'm happy about this though. Like I just, the only reason I'm not a huge DC fan is because we all know like I didn't grow up on comics, so I base a lot of my stuff off film and TV,
Mhm.
and just DC and the live action film world just hasn't ever really done it for me. So I'm if you can give me good film and TV stuff and like give me a bigger expansion of things to enjoy, shoot, yeah, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Speaking of things in James Gunn's world, though, uh, one person that well, I say one person. We all know he's brought back. Oh, Amanda Waller. Her character is going to be the same that's being brought back into James Gunn's DCU by. Wow, I'm drawing a blank right now on who plays her. Uh, I cannot believe this because I really actually love this actress. Yeah, I am
All I
actually.
can think of is How to Get Away with Murder, because
Yeah, yeah.
she's the yeah,
That's the
and I
first thing I seen
can't.
her in.
Yes. Something Davis, isn't it?
Yeah, Viola Davis. Yeah,
Viola.
yeah. So we
I
know
was
her
like
character's
Violet.
coming
No.
back, but out of like a lot of the main superhero characters, we obviously know we're not getting none of those people back. But Jason Momoa, who has actually spoke on this years ago, interview, he's like, when I actually tried out for Aquaman, I actually he went to try out for Batman at first. And he's like, I know I'm not going to get this, but it's just kind of, run of the mill thing. I need to do this. And then they called me back in after they announced that Ben Affleck had gotten Batman, and they're like, "Hey, we want you to be a character, but Ben Affleck's Batman. So do you know who we're going to be?" He's like, "Oh yeah." He's like, "Lobo," and they're like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, Lobo." He's like, That's who you're going to have me play, right?" And they're like, "No, no, he's not. That character's not even in this universe. We're gonna have you play Aquaman." And he's like, "What?" He's like, "I don't even look like Aquaman." And then they pitched their vision of the new Aquaman. He's like, "Oh, cool, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I can do this." But he's like, "I've always wanted to play Lobo." He's like, I grew up reading comics. He goes, and Lobo was his favorite character. And I think I don't know if it's confirmed, but I think it's like everything but confirmed. But James Gunn's even teasing it on his socials too, that he is bringing Jason Momoa in as Lobo. And let's be real, the guy looks like him. Like he definitely has a good portrayal for Lobo. Uh, I like Jason Momoa on certain things, but there's a lot of things I'm not a big fan of his with. There's he seems to be one of those people that he can act, but there's some movies where I'm like, you're playing the same character, or like obviously we know the Fast Saga is bad, but his character in the Fast Saga, the acting was so bad. Oh my god, it
I
was
don't
so
know
bad.
if that's his fault or if it's the script though. Like
Yeah, I
at
mean
some point in
he
time,
could have
like
been directed to be that way, So,
yeah.
uh, but anywho, I think he'd be a good Lobo. And James Gunn's teasing it. It's all over the internet. I think it's pretty much everything but confirmed that
So
he is coming
who
back.
who is Lobo? Is it like a villain? Is it a hero?
Lobo, I believe, is a villain. So
Okay.
one thing I
I
didn't
mean,
do, like I
yeah.
said, didn't grew up on comics, so I don't know a whole lot about Lobo.
Mm,
But let's see. Lobo is a fictional character appearing in the comic books published by DC Comics. He was created by Roger Sliffer and Keith Giffen. First appeared in Omega Man #3. He's an alien from a utopian planet of
what
Caesarnia,
kind of powers does
and
he get? Does he have like
works.
X-ray vision with his red
He's
eyes? Laser
immortality,
vision? Okay.
immortality, healing factor, and vulnerability. So, yep. But
So why does he have red eyes? If you're not gonna have laser vision, why do you have red eyes?
I don't know. I I don't know. But yeah, it says Lobo was first introduced as a hardened villain in the 1980s, but he actually soon fell out of use with the writers and remained in limbo until his revival as a bounty hunter with his own comic in the early 1990s. So,
Hmm.
yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
That'd be
I need to
interesting.
educate myself, and like with them bringing this character in, I'll probably try to read some of the comics and get familiar with this character. But
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, there's probably like a DC wiki out there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like a fandom wiki that I'll probably like because that's honestly like for me because like I haven't gotten into comics and I've still have yet to read a comic even though now I officially have like comics to read. Um I like that's how I get a lot of my information.
Mhm.
And that's how I found out that like Storm actually has like a variant where she wields Mjolnir,
Right.
which is now what I've seen, which I thought was really cool because I like did all that research, found it, and now it's a thing that came to fruition. Um, so I think that's what am gonna do is just like do some research, figuring out like really what he
Yeah.
is, and
That's
I
one
think a
thing for
bounty
20
hunter would be like pretty interesting
Yeah,
because
that's
he's
one
like
thing
big
I
and
wanna
fast.
do for 2025 is I actually wanna try to get myself into actually reading the comics and start growing my knowledge on these characters, so,
Okay.
yeah. Last of the DC news, the Batman 2. This is a younger Batman. The story, as we see, this is like Batman, what, year 2, I think, or something like that, as Robert Pattinson portrays. Supposed to come out in 2026 and has officially been delayed to 2027. So Robert Pattinson's not a young man. He's not getting any younger. So if they're keeping this young Batman portrayal, hmm, wonder how well it's going to work if they keep pushing things back like this. I know there's talk. This was going to be a Elseworld story in the Gunn universe and not be the Brave and the Bold. But then now there's been talk where Gunn's maybe entertaining the idea of this being his Batman and then dropping the Brave and the Bold. But then they're like, how well does this play into the same universe as we see Metropolis and Superman? Because this
Mm,
is such a different tone.
mhm.
So that's just kind of like a buzz and rumor thing talked about right now. But one kind of cool thing that we did get to see in Creature Commandos was the silhouette of Batman.
Bruh.
Yeah, and
How did we
dude,
forget to talk
dude,
about that?
yeah, dude was jacked and big, and so like,
Mm,
and he left it a dark silhouette. James Gunn said because he doesn't want anybody being like, oh, so this is what he's going to fully look like. He's like because it's not really set in stone how we're going to design him, so that's why they
mhm,
did a silhouette of him. And I ain't gonna lie, this looked like a jacked Batman. I mean, he was a
mhm,
big Batman. So like, I don't think they're going to go with the Robert Pattinson Batman being the current main universe. I think it still will be an Elseworld. But I ain't gonna lie, like I know he wanted to play him, and I'm not saying they'll get him to play him. But Alan
mhm.
Richardson, wanting to play Batman, that looked like Alan Richardson's physique in the silhouette of the Batman we've seen on
Yeah.
Creature Commandos for sure.
Didn't it also get like released or leaked or rumored or whatever that James Gunn isn't going to be doing a backstory for Batman anymore?
Yeah. He said we don't need a backstory, just like with Superman. The Superman movie's taking place. Lois Lane knows who Superman is. Lex Luthor already doesn't like Superman. Like he's like, we don't need this backstories. And same thing for Batman. He's like, we don't need the backstory. We all know what happened.
Okay.
So it will take place in the middle, right dead center of Batman storytelling as well, just like Superman is, I'm here for. I think that's good. I think for
Yeah.
the past 30 years, we've always get an origin story of everything. I think even far as people who aren't comic readers or people who are comic readers, we've gotten enough origins from film and comics and animation. We don't need no more backstories unless it's a completely character that's never been done before on screen. Then maybe, and that's just maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I like that we're diving into like Supergirl
Hmm.
with the James Gunn because like
Oh,
she isn't really.
oh. So sorry, you said Supergirl. It made me think. This picture right here. People are analyzing things. If you actually zoom in on that robot's head, you can see we can't zoom in here, but
Okay.
yeah. But if you zoom in, there's plenty of videos out there. New Rockstars is one. You zoom in on a glare of the head, you can see people in the reflection of it,
Mhm.
and one of them look like Supergirl. It looks like a blonde girl with it
Mhm.
looks like kind of like a suit, and you can almost see the S on her chest. And
Huh.
so she's not been confirmed. And like they're only saying they're going to get her like come the Supergirl movie in 2026.
Mhm.
But there's a good chance that her character may actually debut in this movie because I'm not gonna lie, it looks a lot like her character in the reflection of
Did
that.
you Speaking of like people with blonde hair, did you see that Sarah Dean said that she was in this
Yeah, I
trailer?
seen her. So like, if you're actually as it's coming in on the Daily Bugle, you see a chick run out the Daily Bugle front doors and to the right. That's her. Yep, I thought
So
that
if
was
you
pretty
guys don't
cool.
know who Sarah Dean is, she's one of the people that we've actually
Yeah,
interviewed, and she said it
cosplayer
on this
Seattle's
podcast.
Beauty on
Mhm.
Instagram.
Yeah, and like on the podcast when we were interviewing her, she was like, "Oh yeah, by the way, if you guys didn't know, I'm like definitely in
In the
like
movie.
the Superman
Yeah.
movie." And then now she's like in the trailer, and
In the initial
it's
trailer,
really
it's like,
cool.
wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So cool. So cool.
yeah,
And I've been following her Instagram, and I think she's actually working on filming something else on the East Coast again. So like I'm curious like what she's working on filming there. So
yeah. Only time will
oh,
tell.
it will. It will. So I think that's it on DC. Ready to jump into some
Yes,
Star Wars?
let's slice it up.
Part them letters up.
Mhm.
Oh man. Yeah. So Skeleton Crew. it, it's been fun. It's not something super deep. Super like ooh, this is a huge connectivity thing to the rest of the Star Wars universe things we've seen. It's been fun though. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not sure how you feel about it. Have you kept up to date on all the episodes?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so we've covered episodes 1 through 3, 1 through 3 on up for our holiday break. So we're gonna kind of like go over roughly 4 through 6. 4 is can't say I remember no at Atten. 5
Mhm.
is you have a lot to learn about pirates, and 6 is zero friends again. Uh, but yeah, man, I don't know. Are you still like meh about it?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So like I like it don't have a whole lot of ties to like it's built for a younger crowd. And so I'm keeping that in my mind though, right? I think
Mhm.
it's a fun younger audience show. I do.
I
Like
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 that they introduced a lightsaber
yeah.
and for Win to like having it holding upside down because he's
Yeah.
not familiar with it. That was hilarious. Um, but then like other than that, I was just like, ah. Oh, when they were on the planet with all the
Uh
spas and there was
yeah.
like no kids allowed. Um, the what's her name? Potik? Potik? I don't remember. What
Oh,
the
yeah,
girl with the
Pocket?
yeah, Pocket, thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
She's the one that voices Merida in
Oh, okay.
like Brave.
Yeah,
So like when I was sitting there and I was like listening to her voice, I was like, I
that
know who
sounds
this
familiar.
is. Yeah, and like I was watching the new rock stars and they were like, yeah, she's from Brave, and I was like, oh yeah, this is the girl that like does like the bows and the arrows with the giant
Yeah.
curly red hair, just completely different, but in real life. So that was pretty cool.
I like how
So
there's
yeah,
that huge creature in the mud bat that ended up helping them.
yeah,
That was
and then the
hilarious.
giant crab that looked like the crab from
Yeah!
Moana that
Those
was not
the
friendly.
tech crab.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
the
was,
trash crab, the trash panda crab.
trash crab. I don't know. I think it's fun. Like I'm keeping in my mind that like this is built for a younger audience. But like I still obviously want to talk about it. I still anything in the Star Wars world, I want to see. I just love Star
Mhm.
Wars that much. But I think it's fun, and I love Jude Law's character. I love how like you just keep going back and forth between so like you like him, you hate him, you like him, you hate him.
Mhm.
And we get to see like man, he's a super scoundrel. Like he's went by so many names and done so many people wrong. And like I really hope they dive in and give us a backstory on this character and why he's like this. Uh,
Nah, some people are just born evil.
this is true. This is true. And maybe he's just a scoundrel that just so happily had a little bit more midichlorians than everybody. So,
Yeah.
uh, but I don't know. I think it's fun. I think it's lighthearted. I think it's fun. I like the interaction that the kids have with each other and how
Yeah.
they bump heads, but then they learn lessons. I think it's a very wholesome series. I think it's very
I like
wholesome.
how we got the new ship too. When the like
Yes,
claw thing was
it
like,
shredded its hole. Yeah,
yeah.
that was pretty
And
cool.
then like you got a whole new ship
Yeah,
and then Wynn's like dib on the new ship and yeah.
that was
That
pretty
was
cool.
pretty cool.
I thought that was pretty neat. As a man, I'm like, how convenient. But then I was like, but that new ship does look pretty cool. I ain't gonna lie.
Can you imagine all the new toys?
Right,
Like
right.
you have two different toys now.
Yeah,
For
and
all the
like
kids out there.
I'm super intrigued though, and like super wanting to know what's going on with AT-AT and this planet and who's actually running it though. Like, do you?
Mm.
Because like, I don't know, and maybe the captain died, and I'm thinking too much into this, but I'm thinking maybe the captain maybe still alive and is part of running this undercover. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking
But
too
then
much into
who
this.
was the skeleton on the ship?
Well, he had first mates and stuff that was on the ship. It wasn't just him and the droid. So like, there's multiple
Oh, I thought they
skeletons on the
all
ship.
like I thought the mutiny happened and that everybody like he killed everybody.
Oh, maybe it did.
And then he was
Yeah.
just like with him and the droid
I don't know.
went
I
to
still got so
Adat.
many questions, and I'm still I'm in. It's fun.
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think the captain is dead. Captain whatever his face is. Because I can't remember his name. But like I am wondering who is in charge of Atten. Is there actually treasure on Atten? Like, can they actually just print off these old
Mhm.
Republic credits, like to no end?
Right. I almost feel like
Like,
they're mining the core of this planet, and I think they have like a giant gold refinery, hidden somewhere where they just got freaking. They're just pouring, into modes of these like the Republic credits we've seen that look so brand new but are so
mhm,
ancient. I think they have
mhm.
modes of those, and they're just pouring these. But I think that there's a reason for this, and I think maybe it's supplying maybe the Empire trying to rise again and or something along those lines because we're back in the republic era to where the empire has fallen and everything and we have x-wings monitoring and stuff like almost like police and so
Mm.
I think it's maybe I wonder if it's maybe hidden because it's the empire trying to build up credits of money and try to rebuild its army to try to rise again.
Or they're like making a actual like maybe they are making a Jedi temple and or they are becoming or they're like gonna start doing Padawan things because
Oh
they have
yeah.
young kids,
But why would they keep it a
or
secret when like the Jedi temples and stuff were on Coruscant and it was like very, very publicized and very,
because like Jedis aren't a thing anymore, like, and they're
true,
like
true, 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 true.
they're
Maybe they're
completely
just
not a thing
nervous
anymore.
of exposing themselves right away.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of pirates running around, and you don't really
Mm,
want to, like,
true.
if you don't have all of you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket and reveal it to
Right,
everybody
right.
else before
Sure.
like it's actually a thing. Um, oh shit, I had another idea and it completely like it's gone now.
Oh no.
I don't know. It's fine.
She says okay.
It's fine. Oh no, yeah. Okay, cool. So you remember how in Clone Wars or the clone people, the stormtroopers,
Yeah.
when they were making them, like that
Yeah, on
costs a lot of money,
Camino.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like what if this is funding that? Like and it's a
Oh,
secret. Like and this is like that's how this ties in. Or I don't know, maybe. I don't know.
man. So many options. What if?
What if